Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Call Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakodash for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith and the work. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abai coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. I bring the script out all the time. And it's being brought out all the time because this place constantly is being exposed for its tactics, right? This particular video is the propaganda exposure. And like I said, I brought this out several times before, man. The daughter of Babylon uses tactics whenever they feel like they need to invade a place or they need to take down a regime, right? Or they want to take somebody out of power. The first thing they do is demonize the person. Now, that demonization could be true or not, but they gonna put forth in the media a story that this individual is so wicked and so evil and so vile, and they do that to get the people behind them. Once the people are behind them, then they have basically the okay to send as many troops as they feel. Because who are the troops? The troops are the people, right? Now, of course, once you sign that dotted line in the daughter of Babylon's military, you ain't got no say-so. But if the military is low and they need more people, right, that's the first step. Demonize these people and say, America is on the line, right? We need to stop this person before they try to dominate the world. And that's exactly what's going on today. All right? Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 44. All right? Because this is another beauty of the Most High. The Most High exposes these devils. And the more they get exposed, the more frustrated they get. Right? So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, and verse 24. It says, Thus saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am Yahweh, that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish. Right? The Most High constantly is exposing these individuals. Now, how is the Most High exposing these devils? Right? He uses his servants. Right? The Most High sends his word, just like right now I'm bringing out these precepts. Right? And you know the Most High tells us, Yahweh Shai tells us to watch and pray. We are watching for prophecies. In order for us to watch for these prophecies on this earth, we have to watch the media channels. That's the only way to see what's going on around the world, so that we can then go into the prophecies and say, this is what's going on. Right? Yeah, the devil is saying this, that, and the third, but nah, that ain't true. This is really what's going on. Right? So let me go to the book of the Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 10 and verse 13. Let me see. It says, when the righteous was sold, she forsook him not. That she is speaking about wisdom, right? She forsook him not, but delivered him from sin. She went down with him into the pit, right? And left him not in bonds. till she brought him the scepter of the kingdom and power against those that oppressed him. As for them that accused him, she shewed them to be liars and gave him perpetual glory. She delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them. Right? Wisdom is the thing that's allowing us to see who our enemies really are. Wisdom is the thing that lets us know how the characteristics of our enemies. They are liars, and the father of it. The spirit inside them individuals are liars. They DNA is coded to be liars. They can't be nothing else but who they are. All right? And the Most High is exposing that fact through their actions and more so through the scripts. Right? And once that wisdom hits the people, which is, the prophets go out and speak. And go to the book of Amos. Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, surely our power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. And what do the prophets do? Expose any kind of information, any righteous information that touches the spirit gets exposed. That's what we're supposed to do. All right, so with that being said, I'm gonna let this video play and I'll be back.
3 U.S. officials have admitted to NBC News that some claims made about Russia based on U.S. intelligence may be fabricated. They may have made them up to basically psych Putin out and put Russia and even China on notice. Watch this.
They're also suggesting that Ukraine has biological and chemical weapons in Ukraine. That's a clear sign he's considering using both of those.
Can you explain to our viewers what was going on there and what NBC News has learned about that claim this week from 3 different U.S. officials?
Yeah, that was a great example of what we're talking about. That was based on declassified intelligence, but we're also told the intelligence wasn't very clear about what exactly was going on. And they decided to disclose it as a way of deterring Russia from doing that and putting the world on notice that this could happen. And that's what's going on here, the big picture. This is an unprecedented use of declassified intelligence. We've never seen this level of information warfare before from the U.S. government. And what they're doing is they're trying to preempt the Russians, get ahead of Russian disinformation, even mess with Vladimir Putin's brain, as one person put it, leave him off balance to try to show that the United States knows what Russia is up to and is going to get ahead of it. It's really rather remarkable. Another example was when they announced that Russia had gone to China to ask for help with getting some weapons. That hasn't come to pass yet, and it was almost a way of putting China on notice. Hey, we know what's going on here. Don't let this happen. So really interesting and unprecedented use of intelligence here, Alice.
Yeah, and Ken, as you just said, not just intelligence here, unprecedented use. One U.S. official telling you it doesn't even have to be solid intelligence when we talk about it. It's more important to get out ahead of them. Putin specifically, before they do something, it's preventative.
It doesn't even have to be solid intelligence when they tell us about it, they said. Shouldn't it, though? Shouldn't our government be giving us solid information instead of rumors or conjecture? They say they're fighting an information war against what? Misinformation? Well, who's the one spreading misinformation? But they did it to deter Russia and mess with Vladimir Putin's brain, they said. So it's okay. Well, maybe you could justify it because of the invasion, but what about China? They decided to bring them into it and put them on notice also, as if provoking one nuclear power wasn't enough. So they admit the narrative that Russia planned to use chemical weapons and that they were going to get weapons from China was not based on solid intelligence. But it doesn't have to be. They can say whatever they want, apparently. This is exactly why so many people don't believe the news or the intelligence community anymore. So much of what we see and hear ends up being manufactured propaganda in an attempt to manipulate. This type of propaganda doesn't just manipulate Putin, it manipulates the American people as well. Probably even more so. Do you think Putin is falling for this? Don't you think he would know if it was a lie that he was planning to use chemical weapons or get help from China? He knows what's truthful about him and what isn't. but the American people don't. So I don't think this type of propaganda is intended to mess with Putin as much as it is to mess with us. When people envision atrocities like chemical weapons being used on innocent men, women, and children, they're rightfully horrified. Sure, they say the goal is to put Putin on notice, but perhaps the real goal is to get us to feel so disgusted by another country's behavior that we begin to think war is the only option. Remember babies being thrown out of incubators and weapons of mass destruction? These were the lies used to march us into Iraq. But truthfully, it doesn't matter if we're the ones fighting the war or if it's someone else, so as long as we supply it. War is great for everyone except those fighting in it. It's great for politicians who see surges in approval ratings. They get to seem strong. It's obviously great for the military-industrial complex. They get to sell massive amounts of weapons. And it's great for news business and the oil companies, even them, they're raking in record profits. All right, so you might be thinking, well, they're often wrong, but give them a break. It's a tough job trying to read other people's minds. And they did get the Russian invasion of Ukraine right, so maybe they're more inside of Putin's head than we give them credit for. But are they? Watch this.
By saying to the world that U.S. intelligence shows that Russia is poised to invade, that was a big risk, because if they had been wrong, we would all be saying, oh, there's another case where U.S. intelligence blew it, Iraq WMD, and now this. But they were right, and as a matter of fact, for example, France, the military intelligence agency there, they predicted that Russia would not invade. The head of that agency had to resign over that. So that was a great call, a risky call, though.
A risky call. Oh, so they're gambling. They didn't actually know Russia was going to invade. It just looked like it. So they took the opportunity to claim they were. They got lucky. They were right. You have to be kidding me. But honestly, it makes perfect sense. Many of us did not believe Russia was going to invade because, as Ken Delanian stated, the French head of intelligence claimed it wasn't going to happen and ended up resigning over it. I don't see why, when the German head of intelligence didn't think they would either. In fact, they were in Kiev at the time of the invasion and had to be evacuated. Even Zelensky himself didn't think the invasion was going to happen. He was making jokes about it on Facebook. The U.S. was the only intelligence agency to call it, but it turns out it wasn't because they knew. It was just typical American warmongering that happened to be right this time. Lucky guess. So my question is, when we hear reports like this, that the intelligence is flimsy, but that they report it as fact anyway, why is anyone surprised to find out American trust in the intelligence sector is dwindling?
Right. So they could put whatever it is they feel like on the media, on the news, right? Whatever storyline they want the people to believe, and push that narrative constantly, 24/7, and until the people start believing it, right? But the truth of the matter is, who knows what's really going on over there? I know as of late, what I've been seeing is some missile that they claim, came from Russia and it hit Ukraine, like a whole missile. Like the tip of it exploded, but the rest of the missile is there, and you can see, I believe, the Z on it, right? Who's to say they didn't? Who's to say that's even in Russia, man, or Ukraine rather, right? So the sheep will watch that and believe everything that's being said on their news, and they'll take that information, go to the barbershops, go to the beauty salons, go to the jobs, and go to wherever it is they're going, and basically repeat everything that's being said on the news as though they know it to be fact. When in actuality, you basically just repeating a lie. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 4. It says, a wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Individuals that operate more so carnally minded, they're going to listen to the world, right? This world that we living in, 2 Ezra 6:9, right? But a spiritually minded individual is going to question everything. That's what even makes that person spiritually minded. Questioning things, right? Who are these individuals that's telling you that that this is what it is and this is not what it's not. All right? We'll go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and verse 6. Let me see. It says, add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Right? You going out and basically spewing somebody else's lie as though you just know it to be fact, like you did some form of research or look anything up. That in turn makes you a liar. Right? Following this damn devil gonna get you killed, man. That's why the Most High said this is not our rest. Our people got more faith in this devil than they do in the word. And that's sad, man. That is so sad. Right? But at the end of the day, the Most High promised us something, man. We ain't gonna be in this place forever, man. Right? And there's steps that are gonna have to come to pass for this place has to fall. One of the steps is this place will get exposed. Let me go to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 28. It says, Israel then shall dwell in safely, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. It's going to come a point where all Israel going to know these facts. It ain't going to be a remnant that's crying aloud in the highways and hedges that's making epistles. All Israel are going to know exactly who their enemies were. Right? Not are, but were. Because it's going to be a thing of the past. Dude, we talking about Israel in the kingdom. Right? And while we in the kingdom before that, something has to happen to Esau. Right? Something has to happen. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, and I'm going to end with this. 2nd Ezra, chapter 11, and verse 41. It says, for the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. That's the devil right there, man, with the colonization, right? With the transatlantic slave trade, right? With the school to prison pipeline, with the over policing, right? It says, therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. That's a promise from the Father, man. The cancer of the earth will be destroyed, and this place will be refreshed. We'll have a new earth and new heavens. right? Not literally a whole new earth, but a refreshed earth, right? It's written in the scripts the land's supposed to have a Sabbath every 7 years, man. This land ain't had a Sabbath in I don't know how long, man. So just imagine when the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, comes back and gives this place back in righteous hands, the sigh of relief that the earth will give. Because it's a living being, man. The earth is alive if you ain't know it. Don't things grow out of it? Right, it's alive. Right? What do the trees do for the air? That's the only way we even able to breathe, man, because of the trees. It's alive. It's a being that the Most High created. And it's waiting for us to get in charge just like we are. But first, this devil got to go. Right? And like I said earlier, one of the first steps is it must be exposed. And that exposure is going to lead to its demise. The it I'm speaking of is the daughter of Babylon. Right, so with that, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Holoyim Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakak Wadash Shalom Yasha Allah.